Hey, this is kind of an important message, and I'm going to say some things that some of you aren't going to like, but just hear me out and see what you think about what I'm about to say. I had put in the title that basically the governments of the world, they no longer have to lie about freedom and liberty. And the lie basically is that you even have freedom or liberty at all, because you really don't. What you have is a series of privileges, things you're allowed to do under your government. Doesn't matter what kind of government it is, doesn't matter what part of the world you're living in, because all governments are corrupt, period. They're corrupt because they're run by corrupt people. All forms of government could be made to work if the people in charge could be trusted, but they cannot, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate reality of people. So you have these series of privileges disguised as freedom and disguised as liberty. And you, as a people, you have a certain amount of power, if you will, to push back and demand your privileges or try to protect your privileges when they start creeping around trying to take them away, which many governments, especially in the Western world, have been slowly doing to their people for several decades. Longer than that, but more so in the last few decades. Everyone has the power to push back. Some people have the will to do it, most do not. Keep in mind that as long as your freedom or your liberty is attached to a regulation, a law, a requirement, a license, or anything like that, you're not really free and you do not really have liberty. Again, you have a series of privileges, things they allow you to do or have or say or think, or places you can go. It's all privileges, period. Doesn't matter where you're from. Now, a couple of things have changed very quickly. With modern technology, the way that it is, the governments of the world know everything about everyone. Not just because of social media, it's a lot of things. Social media does play into it, but because of a lot of things, they control all the media, they control what you see and hear, and through that, for most people, control what they think. They force their opinions, they gather intel, information on their people. They know everything about you, where you go, what you do, who you talk to, who your family is, who your friends are. They know how much money you have, what kind of job you do, so on and so forth. They have access through this technology to all of your resources. If they want to take your bank account, they can take your bank account. If they want to cut off your check, they can cut it off. If they want to add taxes to it, they can do it. I often hear people say if the people in America would just stop paying their taxes, they could shut the government down. I've heard people say this. How are you going to do that when it's automatically taken out of your check? How are you going to do that when it's automatically deducted when you go to the store and buy something? How are you going to do that if you refuse to pay income tax at the end of the year? Let's say you owe the IRS and they just come along and take your money or property. It's unrealistic. They have total control. And as long as that technology exists and they have all these records and they have all this intel and there's all these cameras and microphones and they're watching and listening to everyone all the time, they have all the power. And they used that power. They used that power last year during the pandemic, if you will. I know a lot of people don't buy into the whole C virus thing. And for those of you who've never seen me before, I say C virus because I'm not allowed to say the actual name of the virus on YouTube. I've gotten in trouble for it. I've been restricted for saying the actual name of the virus. So I'll call it the C virus. The C virus situation was forced on us. It's not nearly as bad as they tell us. Most people are smart enough to see that, but they're afraid to say anything about it because they're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of having the finger pointed at them. They're afraid of being threatened. They're afraid of being pushed around or harassed. Some people are really bought in. I get that. I think most are not. But they can't speak up because all a lawmaker has to do is sign a piece of paper and someone pushes a button and you have no choice. Few people have choices in that regard. And This was experimented on in pretty much every country in the world, and they shut almost the entire planet down with barely a whimper from the masses. Where was the protest? Well, if there was a protest, you wouldn't have seen it, because all they have to do to perpetuate a lie is not let anyone see the truth. And they're in control of the media. So you didn't get the truth. You got their version of the truth, and that's enough as far as they're concerned. The other thing that was interesting in the United States, anyways, was the alleged coin shortage. And I invite you to go on to the US Mint's own website. I had looked at it myself. I did a video on it some time ago, where they admitted that they were hoarding the coins. They said, we're holding the coins back because of the shortage. Does that make sense? And they also claimed that they're minting above normal production. So you're minting above normal production and holding the coins back, but there's a coin shortage while all the businesses are closed and no one is exchanging cash. That was planned. Absolutely, I believe that. You can call me a conspiracy theory if you want. It's all conspiracy theories until it's been proven. And often they are proven correct, more so than you'd like to admit. So there you go. Cashless society is really kind of what they're pushing for, and they're trying to make handling money even more of an inconvenience. Oh, we can't touch the money because it's dirty, because of the C virus. A lot of places have refused cash because they're trying to protect their employees, which is total nonsense. The coin shortage, oh, cash is so inconvenient. It's so much better in those little pocket places in Europe where everybody uses cards only. Once cash is completely gone, there'll be even less pretending, because you won't be able to fend for yourself. There's a handful of people out there that can operate with just cash. What are they going to do when there is no more cash? We're at a point now where, as I said, they no longer have to pretend. They really don't. We're quickly getting to the point where the governments, various governments, politicians, lawmakers, other people in charge, and there are others, no longer have to pretend like we actually have freedom or liberty, because that illusion is really kind of what's kept things going smoothly, but the veil is coming down on it. And I just wonder where people are going to be standing with that. How many people are willing to tolerate it? Because there are some people who would like that. They would like total control. There's a handful of people in most of the Western world that would invite that. They think that's a good idea. Oh, let the government run everything. It'll be all better. Which is not true. It couldn't be further from the truth. The more the government is involved with something, the more they poison it, the more they taint it, the more it's corrupted, the more misuse and misappropriation there is. It's the way it's always been. As far back as history goes, find the perfect government. Where is it? It doesn't exist in any form. Capitalist, communist, socialist, whatever you've got. They don't work. None of them really work. Some work better than others. Some of them do work better than others, but it is what it is. People are in charge, and as long as people are in charge, you can't trust it. And no, that's not an invitation for artificial intelligence to run the governments, because you have to remember, someone's got to program it. Can they be trusted? Not bloody likely. But that's where we are now. That's where we are, and that's where we're headed. And as I pointed out, there are some people who are really inviting this. They would love that. They think the government should run absolutely everything. But I think the majority of people would not like that. However, most of them are too afraid to even speak up about it. They're afraid. They're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of having the finger pointed at them. They're afraid of being punished for speaking their mind. And you can indeed be punished for speaking your mind. If you haven't learned that in America last year, you haven't learned anything. Any thoughts about that? please feel free to post your thoughts in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you get where I'm coming from. Share it if you can. Probably the only way this will get seen. I get very heavily restricted on YouTube. Please do check out some of the other videos if you have not. Maybe you'll find something interesting. I hope you do. If you wanted to help the channel out, there are links for that down below. And what more can I say but stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.